This is something that is so important to put on every day. I am finding it's part of what we can choose to do, how we come across to other people, the energy that we exude, that we put out there into the world. Welcome to the Ladies' Dressing Room. Today we are discussing becoming the woman of your next era. And I say it that way so that you know that it's not about being upset about the woman that you have been, because really it's so wonderful to have lived the life that you have been given and to experience the things that you already have and the choices that you made within those times. I'm not saying that they are always the best choices. I think that there are always things that we want to improve. There are things that we would look forward to, different seasons of our lives, etc. And we would do different things depending on what season or era that we are currently in. So what I wanted to share with you is what I have been doing to become that woman within my next era of my life, and the choices that I'm making to not necessarily change who I am, but to incorporate different things that I've noticed along the way that have been lacking or that I would really love to improve upon. So of course there are always those health things that we want to incorporate, we want to do. Sometimes we fall off, sometimes we just don't really have, I don't want to say don't have the time, but we don't make the time because maybe our attention is elsewhere, and maybe for a time our attention is really required in another part of our lives, and that's completely fine. But then you want to start making adjustments. I've wanted to start making adjustments, and I have. And for the longest time, I, for instance, haven't wanted to really lift weights. But this is something that I tried for a little while, kind of got off of doing it, and now I'm back at it. I know how important it is for me to lift weights, not to become a bodybuilder, but just for my overall health, for my muscles, for me just as I age and enter that next era of my life. That this is really important, especially moving into midlife and all that comes with that. So that's something that I've been focusing on a lot. Now, for myself, I've noticed that a lot of the different things that I want to improve upon or that I want to incorporate into my life, so many of those things begin at the beginning of the day. Or if I don't make up my mind to do them at the beginning of the day, I am just less likely to incorporate them at the end of the day, to focus on them, to make it a priority. So having a really good morning routine and paying attention to that, especially with different things that you may want to start incorporating or improving in your life, that may be the time to really focus on that. Because once the day gets away from us, which happens so much, then it's so easy, I have found, to go back to old habits or to do things that I just want to throw my hands up about because I've already gone through most of the day and I haven't paid attention to this. So incorporating a really good morning routine, getting those habits in at the very beginning of your day really does make a big difference. I know that lifting weights first thing in the morning for me has been a game changer where, I don't necessarily feel like jumping out of bed, putting on my workout wear, and then going downstairs into the gym and lifting weights. But that's something that I know that I need to do because later on in the day, I'm not going to feel like doing that. And the day it feels like the day not only gets away from us, but can kind of be written for us, especially if we have children, if we have other obligations, maybe we work outside the home, something like that, where things come up and you kind of have to do things based off of what you are being faced with in your day, as opposed to choosing every little thing that you are going to be doing. But I think that that is the beauty of having a good morning routine, is that you get to decide. You get to decide what kind of things you are going to incorporate in that morning routine, what you are going to welcome in your life first thing when the day begins. And that has been very helpful for me. But moving on from that, I really want to share with you something that I have made a choice about, that over the years I feel I haven't put as much of a priority on this, and it's kind of led me in this direction of being more negative. So recently I did a video about getting my spark back over on my other YouTube channel, The Lady of the House. And that one, I kind of spoke about the negativity side of things. But I want to share with you one little change that I have been making that has changed everything for me. And it's really made just having a more positive mindset very easy. So I'm not saying that this is just something that fixes everything, because it doesn't. We all have different feelings, we all have different emotions and whatnot, and doing this one thing isn't going to rid our lives of those things, but I think that it's really helpful. So here's what it is. I have decided to smile more. So on this channel we talk about what it is that we wear often, right? It's the ladies' dressing room. And so we're constantly talking about what we're putting on. Well, this is something that is so important to put on every day, I am finding. It's part of what we can choose to do, how we come across to other people, the energy that we exude, that we put out there into the world. It is so different when you are crossing paths with a stranger and you smile at them. It has such a different feel when you meet their eyes and you smile at a stranger. But the same holds true when you do the same things for those within your own household or your family, your friends. When you meet them and greet them with a smile, and for the majority of the day trying to think more in line of lifting your eyes, lifting the corners of your mouth, and just being happier in how you present yourself, it really does, in a way, take a load off. It kind of helps you to just have a little bit more of an upbeat personality, or an upbeat disposition. Let's just say that, not personality. And I've really admired this about a few people in my life that just always seem to smile easily, that they just seem happy. You look forward to being in their presence. And at one point I just started thinking about, is that the way that I come across to other people? And it's definitely a way that I want to come across to other people. And so I had to make more of an effort to do this. And I realized that in the morning, sometimes I'm standing there, brushing my teeth, or just getting myself ready for the day, even putting my facial cream on, or even when I'm doing my makeup. This is something that I have started to practice even in that time, is working those muscles to smile more. And when I look back on a lot of my videos, especially in the time period where I felt I was a lot more negative, my face was very heavy, it was dropped. I just did not have anything looking as if it was lighting up my life. I did not seem like I was grateful, that I felt blessed, that I was just unhappy person, I would say. And I think that so much of what came to me in that time period was a lot heavier because of how I dealt with it. How I dealt with it in a way that I felt like it encouraged the negativity and everything. A lot of it had to do with how I was handling it and how I was presenting myself to the world. So we can choose, how to adorn ourselves and how to put, just the right outfit on so that we feel pulled together, so that we look pulled together, so that we look like $1,000,000, okay? But if we do not have a happy disposition and we don't even seem like we are happy to be living our own life, that really comes across to other people. And not only that, it comes across to ourselves. And so this has been the biggest change, I would say, as I'm entering this next era of my life that I wanted to make. I even wanted to change my profile pictures because for the longest time I just kind of had a straight face. And I mean, of course, there were times that I would be happy about different things and light up about different things, and we can't help those different things that truly do light us up. But I think that we can help ourselves along the way simply by choosing to smile more and choosing to lift our own spirits in a way. So I'm not saying that this is something that you would need to do in your next era, because maybe you do it already and maybe you realize how big of an impact this makes on your overall disposition and the way that others perceive you and treat you and how you want to come across to other people. But this is a really big change that I have wanted to make in my own life because I know and I have seen firsthand the benefits of it and how it has impacted just the way that I show up each and every day. So with that being said, I hope that you will share with me something that you want to start incorporating in your life. Maybe it's the way that you present yourself. Maybe it's, smiling more. Maybe it is, I don't know, there can be endless amounts of things that we would want to do to show up in a way that would help us become more of the woman that we would want to be in our next era. Please share that with me in the comments below. But now I want to head into the dressing room to share with you today's dress of the day. Today's dress of the day comes from Amazon. This dress is very much like a couple of other faux wrap dresses that I have. At least they wrap right up here in the top portion. And the other ones that I had from Amazon, they were more of a cap sleeve. This one is one of my favorites because it is a 3/4 sleeve. And I love how much of the arm that it covers, but yet it leaves all of this room down here to just be able to do all the things that I need to without having to constantly roll my sleeves up. So I love longer sleeve dresses as well because they are versatile in the fact that you can wear them in the winter, etc. But you can also pretty much do the same thing with a 3/4 sleeve and still not feel as if you have to constantly battle moving them up or just adjusting them. So I feel that it's one of those styles that makes it just very easy to wear and not have to fuss with your clothing. So the length of the dress is very nice. I feel that it's slightly shorter, just a little bit shorter than the other cap sleeve dresses that I have, but still it comes to just at the base of the knee for me, which I am about 5'4" 3/4", so just under 5'5", but it's beautiful, it's very soft. It is 95% polyester, 5% elastane. So it has a nice stretch to it. It feels buttery soft. It has that feel to it. And I just have to comment on the way that this crosses. It gives you plenty of space on both sides to where it can come up as high as you want it to. You can open it a little bit more if you'd like to, but overall, I'm just very, very pleased with how much fabric they give you in the bust area. And then I also want to mention that it hits perfectly, I feel, at the waist and just has a very nice feel. It has pockets, which is such a benefit, and something else that I have been trying to incorporate more into my wardrobe in this era of my life is more pink. This is something that I've looked into over the years, but I just felt like I could not find the right shade of pink, or maybe if there was a pink dress, it wasn't in the cut that I liked. So when I am searching for dresses now, I do look for more pinks, and you know, it's hit and miss. Sometimes it's a little too peachy for me. It just may not be the right color. Maybe it's a little too bubblegum pink, and therefore it just doesn't have that more mature look to me. But this pink I just felt was perfect. It's beautiful and I loved it. So definitely wanted to incorporate it into my wardrobe, especially as we are approaching the fall season. So I am going to leave this dress linked in my description box below. And I really hope that something in today's video inspired you in some way and that you will choose beauty every day.